Welcome back to Nightly Nonsense, where we make some sense out of the nonsense that either I create or is all around us. Recently, I don't have to do a lot of creating because it's all around us. All you got to do is sit around our Thursday morning prayer time and your head spins about all the different nonsense that's going around. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to quickly keep going on our Jonah story. Last time I talked about Big Fish Christianity, whatever it was. Talked about the fact that, listen, lots of us, right, don't really get serious with God until we're in a big fish. Tonight, I want you to think about this, right? At the end of his big fish encounter, before he gets spit up, right, I want to read a verse to you, right? It says this, right, in verse 9 of chapter 2 of Jonah. But I, with the voice of thanksgiving, will sacrifice to you. What I have vowed, I will pay. Salvation belongs to the Lord. I want you to grasp that, right? You and I make vows all the time. We make promises to God, and we expect that if we break those promises to God, He's just okay with it. No, Jonah had made a vow to God to do that, right? Which he asked him to do. God, I'm going to do what you told him to do. I don't know the ins and outs of that vow. I don't know what exactly happened with that vow. But I know this, that Jonah admits to God, I'm going to do what I vowed to do. I want you to see that there's some power in that when we do that. When God initiates circumstances to the point where He really just wants us to do what we vowed to do. Right? All the time, Lord, if you just get me out of this situation, I'm going to do my devotions every day. God wants you to do your devotions every day. Oh, Lord, I'll pray more. Okay. God wants you to pray more. Oh, I'll treat people better. God wants you to treat people better. Right? When you make a vow, when you make a promise to God, right? He wants you to keep that promise. So Jonah says, hey, looking around, the enzymes of a big fish starting to eat me up, right? I'm sitting here in a bunch of slop, right? Doesn't smell very good, doesn't look very good. It's a cruddy situation, right? He looks around and he says, God, here's the deal. I will keep my vow. I will do what I promised I will do. Now, let me reiterate what I've talked to you before. That doesn't make you a Christian. You can be a non-Christ follower and keep a vow you made to the Lord. Oh, lots of people do that, by the way. They make all kinds of vows. They make all kinds of promises and they keep it. Right? So, again, you can agree. You can be Jonah and not necessarily be a Christ follower, not be a God follower. You're doing it because you want to get out of a big fish. And you know that the right thing to do is to keep your vows. Some of you are going through stuff right now, and you know that the whole reason you're going through it is because you refused to keep a vow you made. You promised that you would be submissive to your authorities, that you would work well, that you would do all these things. You're not doing that at work. Instead, you're causing trouble all the time. You promised that you would work hard to love people, not hate them, not be jealous, not be bitter, and you're not. You promised that you would lose weight, and you're not doing anything to do that. You promised that you'd do better with your finances, and you didn't do it. You've made vows to God, and you know that the reason you're in the boat that you're in is because you promised to eat better, and you didn't, so your blood vessels are clogged. And now you want God to get you out of the fact that you need a quadruple bypass, right? You need all of these things. And you just want God to heal you. Wait a second. You didn't keep your vow to God. Why does He need to do anything? Right? But Jonah says, I will do what I vowed. And here is what happens. It says, and the Lord spoke to the fish, and it vomited Jonah out upon the dry land. What was God waiting for? I'll do what you said, what you asked me to do. I'll do it. Maybe some of the problems that you and I are having in life is because we just refuse to do what we've asked God to do. Maybe God would spit us out of the big fish, the financial, relational, spiritual, emotional, mental, right? Workplace, church place, any type of a problem that we're having. So that ought to be enough for you to chew on for tonight. We'll see you next time. Nightly Nonsense.